Recording in progress. Yeah, that's her.
I don't know why I just got nervous, but
Why? Why did you get nervous?
I don't know.
Because you hit record?
Yeah, I
We just talked for like 23 minutes. And now you're nervous because you hit the record button?
think so.
All right. That's
Oh,
just me.
so like originally, I thought of going to like a mini golf with you and do
Okay.
that and like do the interview there,
Okay.
but it would have been difficult trying to like record and all that.
Now we just hold our phones up, put on voice memo, do a clap,
Oh,
and then just hold this, do it that way so that you can sync them up.
hey, let's go mini golfing next week then.
That's my brain as a producer is like figuring that shit out. It's easy. But I don't like mini golf.
What?
Yeah, like after like the third or fifth hole, I'm like, it's kind of.
That's fair.
I stopped caring.
Yeah, I never actually write down my putts or whatever you call it. I
Your
just go
score.
have fun.
Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. Took Stevie to mini golf for her birthday the year before last, and it was pretty fun because they had like packages set up, and you like have like the party room for like an hour and a half, and they serve you pizza and salad, and then you could bring your own cake,
Oh
and they
yeah.
cut the cake and stuff, and then you get like everybody in your party gets a round of golf and like some like $4 on a preloaded arcade card, and you get like drinks and stuff. It was pretty cool. Like it was a fairly decent price. I think it ends
Hmm.
up being like $13 a person, and you
When was
get like
this?
this was not this past February, but the February before, so like 13 months ago,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Golf
Huh.
and stuff. It was really fun.
In another month, I think I should be okay. I've been
Yeah.
having stomach issues. I ended up in the ER a couple of weeks ago, a month ago,
Oh yeah.
because I thought I was dying, having a heart attack.
Hmm.
Turns out it was just like a acid reflux, really
Oh
bad
cool.
heartburn.
So it's like Tums,
Yeah, I did like 14 days of some
Prilosec.
medicine, and now, yeah. But yesterday was the first day that I didn't need Tums all day.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah.
Is it because of what you eat? Is like specific things triggering it?
The first time that it happened is because I ate a whole pizza and then went to sleep.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta sit up in bed, take a couple Tums, that'll knock it right out.
Yeah.
Man, I had pizza the other day. I ordered it from a place that's near me in Anaheim, and it was so good. This place has been here, like we've been here for like 11 years or something, and never went to this pizza place and decided that's what I was gonna get. And man, we've been missing out.
Which one?
It's called Out of the Park Pizza. It's like a. Have you been there?
Yeah.
Their pizza's good.
I think that's a place that has,
The
don't they
Chuck
have like
Norris.
shows, concerts there every once in a while?
Oh, I don't know. I
I,
literally just ordered
oh,
it to deliver. But since it was so good, now I'll just go order and pick it up or eat there. They didn't have any drinks. They can't like deliver drinks, which means they didn't have it in bottles. So I'm
hmm.
assuming it's one of those places where you like sit and then you get like the frosted like plastic like red cup, and you get up
Yeah.
and just keep refilling your root beer or whatever. So we're gonna have to go look. I don't know. Maybe they have concerts. I have no idea.
I think if it's the one that I'm thinking of, like a lot of like ska local bands perform there,
Okay,
or they did. I don't know if they still do.
I'll have to check it out. It was really good pizza though.
The pizza that did it for me was a. Have you ever had a what a lot of pizza?
No,
It's a kind of a local spot around here, around Anaheim.
I'll have to check it out. I'm
It
also looking
wasn't
for
worth it.
better pizza. Oh, it's not
No,
good.
no. But there is a spot in Anaheim near Okay, I'm bad with directions, but it's called. I'll have to look it up. But it's really, really good. Hold on, let me look it up real
Is it
quick.
by the park? Is it by Disneyland?
Kind of.
It's not was it pizza? Oh shit. Taco Pizza Up. Wait.
Mr. Taco Nice.
Mr. Taco Nice? Is that it? Is that the place?
No,
Oh,
but
have you been
that's
there
also
though?
really good. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
that
we've
one's
been
really
wanting to
good.
go there. Oh man, it's not Porky's. We used to get Porky's in this time we just didn't feel like Porky's. Is it Tony's Little Italy? Is it deep dish?
No, but that one's awesome.
I fucking love Tony's. Oh, can I say the F word? That's fine, right? You don't mind.
Oh, this isn't going to be in the.
What? What are you talking about?
I mean, I guess it could be pizza. What is it? Pizza Factory. Pizza Factory. It's
It's
kind
on
of
Orange.
new.
It's on Orange Syrup. Oh no, that's a different place. It's a different
It's
place, but it's called Pizza something.
on Lincoln,
Okay.
kind of near Anaheim High School.
Here's the thing. Your channel is called It's Only Funny If You Know Me,
Yes.
which means that people who are watching most likely know you, which means
Yes.
they're probably in the area. So like good pizza recommendations should be left in.
Oh, all right.
And F words.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
But what I really wanted to talk to you, we're starting by the way right now. Um,
What? No, we already started. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Okay, it's 4 o'clock.
wait, what was that?
That was the alarmo. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I thought it sounded like a dog barking.
No, it was the alarmo. It was Zelda hearts filling up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But getting back to the official start of the interview,
I mean, you should have hit record while we're talking about wikifeet.
yeah. I mean, we can always go back and talk about people's feet.
Yeah.
Hey, so you produced a movie, huh?
Don't
What's
try to start this. No, you should have started it when you hit record. I did produce a movie.
yes.
It's a documentary about Lost, the TV show.
And it's called Getting Lost,
Mhm.
which
You
yeah,
watched.
I did.
You
I
finally
actually did
watched
watch it.
it. Yeah, you finally watched it. You haven't watched Lost though.
Correct. Well, I did see the first episode.
Okay, so you're good.
Yeah, that's all I
You
need.
know everything. That's all you need. What? So did it make you want to watch
It
the
did.
show?
It made me have a lot of questions about the show,
Okay,
which do I
they'll answer
need to
it in
give
the
a
show.
spoiler warning at this point, or for people that
For
haven't seen the
you,
show?
you want me to spoil it?
Well, I mean, like, I was going to ask a couple questions about the
Okay.
documentary.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Well, first, before, shoot, I'm going to forget. Uh, Ignore that part. Let's move on to,
Keep it in.
hey, how'd you get into the documentary? How did you get
Uh,
involved with it?
it's funny is that I was oh man, this is kind of a long story. Long story short, is the director Taylor who directed the last blockbuster and ska in the '90s. Pick it up, ska in the '90s. He had produced or he directed a couple of documentaries, some feature length documentaries, some shorts, and he wanted to do one about Lost and used to listen to my old podcast, the Dharmalars, and reached out. I had done a Patreon episode on my Patreon where like I would just throw out there to social media like, hey, if you're available right now and want a podcast with me right now, reach out to me and we'll start in 5 minutes. And it was a series. I've only done a couple called impromptu interviews. And so in the 5 minutes between the time he responded and the time we were recording, I found out that he recorded the last blockbuster, which I didn't know he had done. We were following each other on Facebook since like whenever Facebook started, like in 2006 or whatever. He listened to my podcast, and the algorithm never really. I never saw his stuff. He never really responded to my stuff until this one post. And when we jumped on, he jumped on and we started talking. I'm like, holy shit, dude, like, I didn't know you directed the last blockbuster. That's pretty cool. And then he didn't realize that I did like the VHS dude Vine and Instagram. And it's like, how did the algorithm not put us together sooner? And then a couple weeks later, I was working for DoorDash, and I was sitting in my car eating Taco Bell for lunch, and he said, "Hey, can I give you a call?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Hey, I'm producing this movie. We're thinking of doing it in time for the 20th anniversary of Lost." This was back in 2000, was 3 years ago, 2002, 2001, 2000 or 2021. I think it was 2021. He called me. It was like November, and he's like, "If we want to get this out by the 20th anniversary of Lost, we should probably start now." And I was like, "I don't think so. I'm good." He's like, "Well, it's like, why? Why don't you want to do it?" I said, "I want to go mess up your movie." And he's like, "You're not going to mess it up. I've done like 7 of these already. The only thing you could do is add to it and make it better." And so I said, "Let me give you a call back. I'll call you later." And then I went and I talked to Stevie, my wife, about it. And we were just like, "Yeah, you might as well do it. I mean, like, you can still like do DoorDash and shit." So, like, it's not like it wasn't like I had like any like major job commitment. And so I talked to Taylor and I said, "Yeah, okay. What do we need to do?" And we came up with sort of a story structure of how we what we wanted to talk about in the movie. And it was essentially we wanted to talk about the show Lost, the fans of Lost, and sort of do a parallel thing. Like as we talk about Lost, we talk about the fans of Lost, and then do a big sort of reunion at the end because there's kind of a reunion at the end of Lost with a lot of the characters coming back and reuniting and stuff. And so we wanted to do like a parallel thing where like, Lost, you've seen the first episode, so there's a plane crash and all of these strangers are kind of thrust into this adventure together, whereas Lost came about during the time of message boards started up, podcasts started up, Twitter started up, all this stuff started up, TiVo started up, like around the time Lost started. And so here you have a group of strangers worldwide coming together on message boards to, go on this adventure together. So there's like this parallel thing. And once we figure that out, we're like, okay, that's what it's going to be, is about the fans of Lost and how they go, they're like all over the world. And then like things changed, like as we started getting into the production. It was one of those things where like my friend Michael, who did the music for the show, and my friend Jorge, who stars as Hurley on the show, I asked them if they wanted to come on board and be in the movie because I know they're still fans of Lost, and they're like, "Yeah." And then that kind of snowballed into more and more cast members from the show showing up in the movie. And so that kind of story of the fans and the show paralleling, it's still there, but it's crazy like how many people got involved, and so we ended up doing like a lot of like reminiscing with the cast too. So yeah, it was like like started like over 3.5 years ago, and it we premiered the movie on the 20th anniversary of the pilot airing, which was September 21st, 2004. Our premiere was on September 21st, 2024, which was
Was that the LA
kind of cool.
screening?
That was the LA screening, and that was the goal. When we sat there, and he called me while I was sitting in my car, eating my cheesy gordita crunch. He's like, "I want the premiere on the 20th anniversary," and I looked it up. I'm like, "Okay, it's a Sunday," and he's like, "That's great." So that's what happened. We fully committed to that date. And what was funny is like for like years, people were like, "When's it coming out? When's it coming out?" And we said, "We're here to celebrate the 20th anniversary." "Okay, but like when are you going to have the premiere?" We're gonna have it on the 20th anniversary. I mean, there's still some stuff we have to go through, but if you're a Lost fan, you know the date that we're shooting for, and a lot of Lost fans figured it out pretty early on. But yeah, it was crazy that we actually hit that date, um, especially for like just an indie doc where we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants. And even though we had our premiere on September 21st, on the August before, like about a month before that premiere, we shot with J.J. Abrams. So like stuff was down to the wire. Like the movie, we didn't do the final version at the premiere, but the version we did at the premiere wasn't locked down until the night before.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. And then once that was done, Taylor went in and tweaked some things, like a little, like there was like a little glitch on one of the shots, and there was like he moved my credit from like it was up in the sky, well, like a white sky, so it's kind of hard to see or is obscure, and he moved it over here, and he like there was like small little itty bitty tweaks that happened between the premiere and like the like digital release, but but it was still pretty much a finished picture. It was crazy because it's one of those things where you're like, okay, this is the target date, and you're like 3.5 years. That's like forever. But then it started getting to the point where like, oh crap, we have like 2 months left, and this movie's like 4.5 hours long. So it was, dude, it was nuts. So from the beginning was like you kind of kick back and you're like, yeah, this is great. But it's like any sort of other like homework assignment where you're like, oh no, the due date is here.
yeah.
But yeah, about 3.5 years. But yeah, it started with me eating a gordita crunch.
And for the record, I did buy a ticket when you guys had the screening in Orange County. I just couldn't
Mhm.
go because of stupid work.
I told you you should have called out.
Yeah, should have.
You should have.
But now I'm like two call outs away from getting fired.
Oh,
Just saying.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
And I need those in case of an emergency.
Should I go show it again?
Sure.
You've already seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second Orange County screening was about half the people. Like I sold out the first one. The second one was like half the room. But they all liked it. They all liked it.
Yeah. I saw on IMDb it has a 7 point something
Oh, really?
stars.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, I've seen complaints and stuff. Like with anything you put out there, there's going
Yeah.
to be like detractors, but I think for the most part, like diehard Lost fans are like way into it. Um, I know after the screening, Jorge was up there doing the Q&A with us after the premiere, and he was very emotional about it. And at the after party, he was telling me just how much he loved it and asked me about all the parts of the movie that he wanted to talk about, and asked me how we did certain things. And he was just so happy about it. He was moved by one moment in the movie and asked if we can get him in touch with the person who said it. And like we did a live stream of the movie, and one of the people in the movie who was going to join us on the post screening live stream was just watching it for the first time during the live stream, and by the time he came into our sort of Zoom, he was like wiping away tears. And so it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, there's people who are going to hate stuff. There's people whose expectations were give us answers that they didn't tell us in Lost, and we're like, well, that's not what we're here for. I have the answers. We just didn't put them in the movie.
Why was there a polar bear there?
The polar bears are there because I mean I
Wait,
can spoil this for you.
bears?
There's bears, yeah, they're polar
Oh, I
bears.
just saw the one that you guys brought up in the documentary.
Yeah, I mean they're the polar bears are part of an experiment. But I don't want to spoil. If you watch it, you should.
I did tell myself that if I found, because I started recollecting like DVDs,
Mhm.
if I find the lost set, at a thrift store. I'll watch it.
Okay. What if I just like give you mine? They're pretty beat up. They're
You
Blu-rays.
I have a Blu-ray player.
Yeah. Yeah, I could get that to you. I don't know if you should keep them. Maybe. I
Oh,
don't care. I don't really care. I'm trying to get rid of stuff
why?
because it's just too much stuff.
Are you still collecting the vinyls?
Chewbacca shampoo. I slowed down on vinyl collecting because, like, the reason I got into vinyl is because of lockdown. Tired of watching TV, tired of playing the Switch. Just like it was to the point where it's like that's all we were doing is just watching TV and playing the Switch and being on the internet. And we had a record player. It was old and it was kind of shitty, and we really didn't use it. And then for our anniversary, Stevie wanted to get or like a actual
Fancy one.
decent record player. And so she got it for our anniversary, and then we just kind of started collecting vinyl because we're literally just sitting on the couch, like doing nothing. And so once lockdown lifted, we don't find ourselves really like, spending the whole day just sitting there playing video games. So I slowed down on collecting vinyl. There's a few that come out where I'm like, I really need to get that. Stuff from friends. My friend Mick did this score for the Penguin show, and so I need to get my hands on that to support Mick. I still haven't done that. Um, there's a group called Le Matos who did a movie called Turbo Kid, and the soundtrack's
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
So I kind of became like online friends with one of the guys from Le Matos, who not only does the music for Turbo Kid, but is the cinematographer of Turbo Kid, and he's shot a bunch of movies like Snack Shack and Dinner in America and stuff like that. Really cool dude. Let me use one of Les Matos, which is the gear in French. The Les Matos let me use one of their tracks for the opening of my podcast, Cue the Music, and is like totally a cool guy. Well, they just released the soundtrack for Turbo Kid, the video game, and it's so awesome. So I like had to buy that. I bought that like came out like 2 weeks ago. I think they only made like 500 of them, and I had to get that like as soon as possible. But I've been slowing down on vinyl collecting because once lockdown lifted, Stevie got me a camera, and so I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
it's like the perfect excuse to get out of the house and just go find new places to hang out at, and just take the camera with me. And so I've been doing that. I just got a new camera yesterday. Stevie got that for me, a Pentax 17, and I want to go out and shoot with it, but I might do that tomorrow. I'm
Which one
busy tomorrow.
have
I
you
have a
been?
meeting.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Well, we can't talk about that though.
no, but I'm
What?
working on a movie that could be said if people are
Yeah.
interested. Yeah. Um, but yeah, and then I've been sort of looking for work because the movie's done, um, and it's not like it's an indie. It's not going to sustain me for long. But I've been looking for work while also trying to build a portrait portfolio. So I've been trying to like get people to come hang out so I can take pictures of them so that I can get to a point where people pay me to take pictures of them. So
I have a question. We'll cut this out. What was
no, keep it in.
the weird photo shoot you had?
Oh, yeah, maybe cut this out.
Yeah.
If you go and look, you'll just see it wasn't weird. Well, it was weird. It was something completely different. It's a model named Allison who has a lot of ideas, and this is the first time that I'd worked. Like usually when I do a photo shoot, it's like an hour, hour and a half. This was like 5 hours. She had five different looks that she came with, and we went to like six different locations and all kinds of stuff. It was wild. It was the first time that I'd actually like done a photo shoot with someone who was like a stranger, and I did not know what to expect. And what happened was like way out of my comfort zone. But like at the same time, I told Stevie, like, not necessarily a New Year's resolution, but it kind of was that I just wanted to shoot more portrait photography. And so since the new year, since like January 15th or so, I've shot something like 8 photo shoots, which is great for, for a couple months. I usually get like 2 in a month. And I have one coming up in a couple weeks once my camera's repaired that I'm really excited about. And then like, dude, like I was just like, so I've decided like, just go for it. If I feel uncomfortable about a shoot, and you can leave this stuff in with Allison, that's not a big deal. It was just like a completely different experience and like really, really wild. But for me, the whole time I was just like, just go for it. It's something different. It's something new, and it's exciting, and it's tough because I like doubt myself, and my camera was just like on the fritz, and I lost a lot of exposures. Like with the camera I shoot with, the Pentax 6.7, it's like 5 pounds and it's like huge. It's like this, like the size of my head. It basically shoots IMAX size film.
Hmm.
It only takes 10 pictures per roll, and like it would just be drop a couple of frames. So now I only have like 8 pictures. But luckily, like I just like dove head first, and I just put my, I just put my head down and did what I needed to do. She likes the pictures, and that's all that matters, the ones that did show up. But I went and got my camera fixed, and it should be ready next week. But I'm really itching to get out and shoot more. Because if I do get it back in time, I will have a shoot this time next week that I'm very excited about. Yeah. And this was like an opportunity that arose from that shoot with Allison. Um, um, Met someone while we were picking up shave ice, and the
From Joe's.
woman, the shave ice woman who was making it, I had thanked her for letting us shoot in front, and I left my card. And on my way out, when I was leaving, I thanked her and I asked her, I'm like, hey, have you done any modeling? And she was like, actually, yeah. And I'm like, oh, cool. I said, if you want anything, if you want to do a portrait shoot, I shoot entirely on film. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. And so I've been in contact with her, and that should be in 1 week. So I'm really excited. She has like a lot of freckles, and I love like when photographers do like black and white pictures and it just like
Oh yeah.
accentuates the freckles. I've always wanted to do like a photo shoot like that, so I'll be able to get to do that. Um, so if I didn't just like dive head first and just be like, okay, I'll go hang out with Allison, who I is a complete stranger, and she has a lot of. If you look at Allison's page, like there's a lot of interesting concepts on her page, and it's very, very wild. But she was looking for more like regular, normal, toned down pictures, and so that's what I was able to provide for her. And she's excited about it. She posted a picture today and tagged me in it, and said add me as a collaborator. So it was a very interesting day. But because I did it, now I have another photo shoot coming up on in a week. Um, and yeah, I've really been enjoying that. I've been trying to start that as a business, to where like if I do end up getting like another crummy job, I have this on the side that I can work on and build and create a create an area where people will like want to come and get their pictures taken by me. I have so many friends I've reached out to. I used my VHS account, my VHS dude account, and I reached out to some people. I was like, hey, these are kind of there's famous people that follow that account, and I just decided, you know what? I'm gonna ask them. Hey, do you want portraits taken of you? Let me know. I reached out to somebody who I just absolutely adore. He's a comedian. He released an album last week. I love the album. I reached out to him, and he said, "Yeah, sure, I'll take pictures, anytime." And then I was like, okay, whatever. He's being nice. But then he went and followed my photography account. So I'm like, oh, okay. So there's an actual interest there. So I'm hoping to shoot with him, and just kind of like start building up that following. Blue Sky's been really good to me. In October of this past year, was that like 5 months ago? I had like 275 followers, and today I have like over 2,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's really growing fast on Blue Sky, which is nice because Instagram's just getting tougher and tougher. So on Instagram, I'll only post portraits now, but all my other stuff shows up on Blue Sky. But so yeah, that's kind of like no vinyl, less vinyl, more film, because film's pricey. But I think what I'm turning out is pretty good stuff. People seem to like it. So
You know, they have some at Five Below. Some,
they have film at Five Below or
yeah,
disposables.
Phil, both I think, but
Oh
they're like the
shit.
the crappy ones.
Yeah, but you know what people do, and people swear by this. If I can go get a disposable camera for $5 at Five Below, people just crack them open because inside is just a regular roll of film.
Oh,
So that gets me really excited to where I think tomorrow I have a podcast I'm going to be guesting on talking about the movie, unlike now, which I'm not talking about the movie at all. Um, I might go to Five Below and like if I can get like 3 rolls of film for like, you know, $15, crack those open. People swear by those too. The
hmm,
film that's in the disposable camera, people say
yeah.
is really good film. So that's a good tip. That's good to know. Yeah, cool. Because
Well,
it's not cheap. So I'm trying to get to a point where I can like where people pay me and then I get to go get the film.
wait,
And
you're not charging them?
I have this thing where I have a set amount to shoot with me, and it's slowly been going up throughout the year. I raise it every month, but I capped out at the beginning of April. And so far, like if anybody comes to me and they're like, "Hey, can you do photos for me?" I'll say okay, and I'll show them the page, and there's a booking calendar, and you can click the calendar, and all the pricing is there for you. But if I go to somebody like, let's say, Kyle Mooney, for example, who said that he would, who said he would reach out to me, and who followed my film account, he like I reached out to him. So if I reach out to somebody,
You're not gonna.
I'm not going to expect them to pay.
Yeah.
Like like the shoot I'm doing next week, because I like reached out to her and I'm like, do you want to shoot? Give me money. Like that's weird. But if someone comes along and jumps on my site, yeah, there's a payment thing in there, and it's negotiable. My sister-in-law, she said, "Hey, my niece, my sister said my daughter and her friends want to take pictures either up in like the Barstow area, or one of the girls is over in Cal State, like Long Beach." And she said like, yeah, I'll pay for all the film and do whatever your rates are and stuff. So that's cool. That might be my first actual like paid gig, but I'm getting to the point now where it's like I'm really deciding who I want to shoot. There's a couple of friends that I've asked and they said, yeah, I'll do it. But they haven't gotten around to it yet. So they'll get freebies. But yeah, if anyone comes to me, I'm like, here's my rates. And it's negotiable for sure. Um, but yeah, because like doing a roll of film, usually I shoot on Kodak Portra 400, and that's about $15 for a roll, and it costs 15 to develop, so that's like $30 for a roll of film. Um, so yeah, when you lose 2 exposures, that's real bad. It's like God, that's just money going down the drain. So, but yeah, so it got to a point where I was slowly like, I think in January on my booking calendar, I had like $100 for around an hour, and you get like 3 rolls of film, and that like just covered the cost of the film and developing. And then in February, I upped it to like 150. or 125, then 150, and then now it's like the set for the rest of the year at 200. And I added an extra a roll of film, so it's 4 rolls of film for about an hour, hour and a half, and which is a pretty good deal if I can make sure all my exposures come out. Um, but yeah, like digital photographers charge like $300
Eesh.
an hour, which is fine. Like I would charge way less if I wasn't like purchasing and developing the film.
Yeah.
But some people want it. We'll see. Yeah, I've been reaching
Well,
out.
if I ever get back on the dating apps, I'll hit you up for new photos.
Yeah, go for it.
Because my last date said that I look way better in person, and my photos are not the best of me. Which
All
he
right.
wasn't wrong, but
I haven't seen. I've only seen you in person, and
I'll send
I
them
haven't
to you.
seen your dating app photos. You're gonna send them to me now?
Sure. I mean, I have to find them.
I mean, that's the thing too. Like this little guy, this 35 millimeter guy. Like I can just take a couple shots of you with that, or even my big camera. Like we don't have to make a whole deal out of it. Like you don't need you're I don't you don't require like 4 rolls. You know.
Hey, we don't know. Found them.
Oh boy. So does it? I'm wondering if they look different. Are you gonna put them in the chat, or are you gonna text it to
Oh,
me?
I can text them to you.
Yeah, text them to me. I enjoy getting texts on my computer. But yeah, I mean, I don't have to do a whole thing. I mean, that looks like you. Oh, I thought that said you were 6'7". I don't know about the one with the you're holding like a quesadilla or a burrito. All right, that first one, that I like that first one. That's not a good picture. You look very serious though. I
I
don't
was
know
having
how
a
I don't know how dating apps work. That one's good. That one's good. I don't know how dating apps work. Uh, Me and Stevie have been going out before like cell phones. Well,
yeah.
they're cell phones. There were not picture phones. Uh, where is this one where you're in front of the pink house? Where's that?
That's in Palm Springs.
Okay, that's too far. I was gonna say let's go back there and shoot on film, but I don't want to drive to Palm Springs. I tried shooting there. It's not. There wasn't like it wasn't as inspiring as I thought it was gonna be.
Where?
Palm Springs.
Oh,
I was like, oh, Palm Springs. It's gonna be like every coffee table book you've seen, but it wasn't.
yeah. I went and it was very disappointing.
Yeah, you think every house would be a completely pink house, but nope. Yeah,
Oh, before I forget, I
yeah.
posted on my socials if anyone had some questions about the documentary for you.
Did you get anybody to respond?
I
My
did.
documentary is such a global success.
I did. And he's actually a big fan of Lost and the
Okay.
documentary now.
Oh, good.
He wanted to know will there be any cutting room floor extras made available either
There should
on
be. There should be.
YouTube
the
or any site?
The goal was to like start populating our YouTube channel with some extras. There was a limited edition Blu-ray that came out for backers of our Indiegogo campaign. Those have extras on it, including a commentary. This is the first time I've done a commentary. Um, but I don't know if those extras will go on YouTube or new extras. Taylor is currently knee deep into post production on his horror movie Vampire, which is a horror movie mixed with the story of Bambi. I don't really know much about it. I never really brought it up with him. I know the title, and I've seen that Indiegogo like intro video. But anytime we were working, I wasn't like, "Hey, we have a lot on our plate. How's that other thing going?" So I don't nothing about it. I went on the Kickstarter and I got or his Indiegogo for that, and I got a copy of it on VHS, so I'm waiting for him to finish post production. So he's knee deep into doing that, and I'm assuming once he's done with that, we'll start getting some clips on YouTube.
Are there any more physical copies of the documentary online? Or
They're not online. If you know a guy,
at
then that
Blockbuster?
person may be able to
Oh,
get you a copy. You can order, you can rent a copy of the movie at Blockbuster. That's in Oregon.
yes.
It's at the last Blockbuster. I think they got 5 copies or 3 copies. But I mean, I have the Blu-ray. I was only given two. One I'm keeping, and then the other went to somebody else. But yeah, I think I want to say, because here's the thing: we sold some after the fact and kept some in a secret stash so that in case any of the ones we shipped out got busted or something, we can
Oh,
replace them. So there are some out there, and we're not counting out doing more. But right now, that's the only place you can get the extras, unless you were an Indiegogo backer, and there is an Indiegogo specific digital download that has those extras as well.
so there was one part in the movie that I did not care for when it got sad.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just made me sad. I was
it
over
was
here
one of
having a good
my.
time.
There was a low light of my producing. Usually when we do stuff over here and we did stuff around Los Angeles, I had this box. It was like a Rubbermaid bin, just full of like snacks, like Clorox wipes, tissues, paper towels, a lint roller thing, like just kind of like, hey, you might need this stuff at the shoot. I didn't have that when we shot in Hawaii, and we were talking to my very good friends Ryan and Kate Ozawa, and like we knew the subject of Jen was coming up. It was always part of our story was Jen's story, and we were sitting in a courtyard doing this story, and we it got to the part where we started talking about Jen who passed away from cancer, and I had zero tissues, zero. And like I start losing it like right off the bat because again, like Jen Ozawa is her number's still in my phone. Like I can open it up and still see text messages from her from years ago. Um, Over the years, me and Stevie have like grown to know that family. Um, so it was so like emotionally like gut wrenching during that interview, and I knew I messed up by not grabbing a box of tissue ahead of time because we were in Hawaii, so I didn't have my bin of stuff. And like tears streaming down my face. I'm running sound, so I need to be quiet, and I'm like listening to the interview, and I can't disrupt anybody. I can't throw off my headphones and go get tissue. And so I'm like sitting there, and I have to like turn myself sideways so no one's watching me just sitting there bawling. I have like snot coming out of my nose. I'm crying so much. And I'm literally, dude, I don't know if I've told this story anywhere else. I'm like wiping my eyes and getting the boogers out of my mustache and wiping them in my pockets. As soon as Taylor hit cut, I take off the headphones, I bolt, I go grab all the tissue I can and just start handing it out to everybody because we're all a mess. It sucks that there's sad stuff that happens. I don't like we're setting out to make a fun movie, but we knew that the subject would be something that we wanted to discuss before finishing like the third act. This is kind of our second act sort of conflict was like there's you know like on Lost, people move on, they pass away. Same thing. It was the parallel with the show. It happens with the fans. You start becoming closer and closer, no matter how far we are in the world. This random family from Hawaii became really close friends with my family in California, and people from Florida and across the world. Everybody knows these people, and it was really really a bummer. And it's funny because like that's was going to be like the crux of, before we get into our grand finale where, hey, listen, the show brought people together, and it's an extended family. The fandom is this extended family. We got to meet up at this church, and it was like great. Halfway through doing the movie, the word gets out that, oh, the writer's room kind of sucked and it was very toxic. And so for me and Taylor, we're like, oh, now we're sad because now we're like, do we put this in the movie or not? And I'm like, I don't like any of this. Taylor was ready to like pull the plug on the movie. We had already like 20, I want to say 26 interviews already finished by that point. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, the news has been out for like 45 minutes. Just go enjoy your weekend. We'll reconvene on Monday and we'll discuss it. But I just want to let you know this is the story in the show Lost. Lost is about a bunch of characters who are broken and they have awful pasts. You see this in the flashbacks. And I said, these writers back then uh, had this toxic environment. But like Lost, it's going to run our parallel again, how those characters dealt with the shitty past and how the real life people dealt with the shitty past, and that's where we're at now. And when talking to the people who were being accused of this awful behavior, that's how we presented to them. We're like, hey, listen, it's just like the show. Have you bounced back from this? Are you a better person now than you were back then? And that really put one of them at ease, and we got his interview and stuff. And it's not the stuff we really want to talk about, but at the same time it's like, hey, listen, like cancel culture's out there, there's all this stuff going on, and just like the show Lost, like, are you able to forgive others? No matter how broken they were in the past, are you able to move forward and get past it and work it out? Like, nobody's perfect. You can just, so for us it was like, it really made that second act conflict like really, like, it really hits hard because we talk about that toxic work environment, and the people who were accused of that both kind of gave statements and apologies and that stuff, and you're able to like have a sigh of relief. And then we talked about, unfortunately, well, I mean, we talked about Cancer Gets Lost, which is a real positive that came out of the show. And it's one of those things where it's like, hey, listen, everyone's gotta deal with the bad stuff at some point, but let's also talk about the good that's come from it. And we felt like that was a really good way to sort of lead into the finale of the movie, was like, let's work this out. Let's have a conversation about it. So like, you didn't watch Lost, but I'm curious to know, like, this, so the sad stuff was still sad. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, okay. It's I mean, it's a theme of Lost, is life and death and stuff. And if you watched Lost, I think I highly recommend. I mean, come over and grab these. I'll let you borrow them. I mean, I never watch them, so if you never return them, I don't think I would even notice. Um,
I'm
but
going to a thrift store after this.
okay, okay. But it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like, well, when I designed the Blu-ray box for our movie,
Oh,
we
you
made sure
designed
that
it?
the spines, yeah, along with Taylor, I think I mostly did. He did some tweaks to it because he was doing the printing on them. But we wanted to make sure all the spine of the movie lined up with the spine of the Blu-rays. So they kind of do. They kind of do. Because we wanted it to be like a companion piece. Like, after you watch the show, this is what it meant to be a fan of the show at the time it came out, um, and kind of celebrate like the 20 years of the show's existence. Um, that's funny that you cried though. I mean, you probably didn't expect it. It probably caught you off guard. It was there from the beginning. That initial conversation, where again, the the gordita Crunchwrap Supreme is just like it's my favorite thing, and I don't know why it costs so much. I don't know why it needs to be like a $6 item when you can sometimes get it in a $7 deluxe Craven box. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Um, but yeah, yeah, it's because you can't like if this was just a story of like here's how Lost was done. Like you'd be like, okay, cool, now I know how it's done. But you want to have something, you want to have an emotional charge to it. And I've met so many people over the last 20 years because of Lost, and a lot of them are in that movie. And it was one of those things where it's like this is like I think that's a good way to show like you could show fandoms where man these are a bunch of weirdos like you've seen like Trekkies or you've seen like other sort of documentaries about fandoms and it's like man what a bunch of weirdos we'll get a load of this crazy person. But with this it was like no, like the fans really were like smart people really trying to figure out the mysteries of the show and came together to discuss on like a scholarly level like what are the ins and outs, what's happening, can we figure this out together. And it was more like a family than it was just like a crazy group of weirdos. So yeah, it's like I like Star Trek, like I'm not ripping on it, but if you watch Trekkies it's like okay, this person's they're definitely like exploiting this person's quirks.
The clip that you're in, the one when you're in the yellow shirt, was that the year that you had a panel at Comic Con,
There was I don't remember if I'm wearing a yellow shirt. Oh, wait,
or was that the year that we went with Lenny?
there's a couple of things. There's one where I was on a panel um in 2023 where I'm wearing my pink Hawaiian shirt. And then the other panel was probably like 2007 at Comic Con where I'm wearing the yellow Darmalar shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. With me and Ben, we're on Jay and Jack's panel along with Ryan and Jen Ozawa. So like our friendship with Ryan and Jen goes back, to, you know, 18 years ago or something. I've been podcasting coming up on 20 years. Um,
Are you
so
doing any more
yeah, I mean,
podcasting?
well, the Dharmalars, we should probably do the final season of Sweet Tooth. But yeah, I do like live action Star Wars and Invincipod and Cue the Music's kind of been put on hold since I'm not buying vinyl. Um, I have a new one called Lanterns Live. It's on YouTube as well as like audio podcast. It's everything Green Lantern. So if you're a fan of Green Lantern, then um, go check that out.
Was that just cuz or something coming out?
Kind of a little bit of both. Like we knew that the Lantern series is coming out next year, and it's one of those things. This is always how I start a podcast: is that an idea will be pop in my brain, and I'll go and type in the URL. And if the URL exists, I spend the $8 on GoDaddy to get the URL, and then I go and get all the like social domains and stuff, social handles. And so I was literally sitting on my couch in August. I was sitting on my couch and I do a lot of live streams. It's just easier because once you finish, it's just on YouTube. And then I just take that audio and just dump it onto the podcast feeds. I was sitting on my couch and I'm like so excited about this Lantern show coming out. And there's a new Green Lantern comic. It's really, really good. And I'm like, man, lanterns are great. If I were to do a live stream of Green Lantern shows, I can just they're so easy to do live streams because you just do the stream in like 45 minutes to an hour, however long you do it, and then now it's just there. Like it's the easiest thing. I don't have to edit. I don't have to do anything. So I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like, yeah, like a live Green Lantern show. I'd call that Lanterns Live. And I went and I looked up lanternslive.com and it's like totally available. I'm like, oh shit, here I go. I go to Twitter. Lanterns Live on Twitter was already taken. That's fine. I don't really use Twitter anymore, but like Instagram at Lanterns Live, Facebook Lanterns Live, like all the other ones at Lanterns Live. I'm like, well, and then 2 days later, I was doing a live stream for Lanterns Live. That was cool. That was August, and then I have like something like 352 followers. Like it's getting pretty good because there's not really a lot of. There are definitely Green Lantern dedicated YouTube channels out there. None of them do live streams, which for me is good because a lot of info has been coming out about the show. And so anytime, like in the Superman trailer, Nathan Fillion was Green Lantern Guy Gardner for like, I think it was a second and a half. And so like 20 minutes after that trailer drop, I was online talking about that clip, looping it for like 20 minutes by myself, and boom, done. It's out there. And so like that's fun. Vanity Fair released like a picture of Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre as Hal Jordan and John Stewart. And I boom, jumped on the air 20 minutes later, and talked about it for, a half hour. A photo. I talked about a photo for a half hour because there's like a live chat and stuff. And then, yeah, once I'm done, it's up. And those two that I mentioned are doing really well, I think really well, considering I have like 352 followers. But it's like, those are like at like almost like 5,000 each views or something. So, yeah, Lanterns Live, I've been loving. I think it's the fastest
Hmm.
like growing live stream show that I've done.
Pick up a Green Lantern book, you see.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
The
I'd
last
say,
time I went to the Dollar Tree, they had a
uh,
DC Comics there for sale.
oh, that's cool. Just go grab comics. I got an issue, or not an issue. I can't reach it, but I got a Green Lantern trade paperback free at Bad Robot. J.J. Abrams, J.J. Abrams was producing the Batman. I forget what it was called. It was a Batman series on Amazon. It was like Batman in like the 1930s. Don't remember the name of it, but they had just boxes and boxes of DC comics and stuff. And they're like, yeah, yeah, take anything you want. And I said, you got any Green Lantern? And she found the Green Lantern War Journal. And so I was like, oh, cool. So like I got a free Green Lantern comic at J.J. Abrams production studio.
Hmm.
So that was fun. He's a cool
I
dude.
have another question, but you already answered it.
Oh, who's it from?
Same guy. Oh, Scott Freelo.
Okay.
You should
Scott.
check out his music.
Okay.
I'll send you his stuff.
What was his question that I already answered?
Oh,
Do you have a Green Lantern podcast?
actually, yeah. No, I'm kidding. Um, he asked, will you ever try to will you ever try to get interviews with cast that didn't make it and possibly release, or has that slipped? Has that ship sailed?
I think we're done. I think we're done. I had a dream a couple months ago that Matthew Fox decided he wanted to be in the movie, and I was like, dude, it's done. We're done. It's too late. It's too
But
late.
the one that
There's a couple of cast members who, after the J.J. Abrams interview, which was less than a month from, or about a month from the premiere, there was two that we almost got, and I was just like, we got to stop at some point. Got to stop. But
but the one that you answered was a how were you able to get most of the actors on board, and did
uh,
ABC help?
no, ABC did not help. ABDC did not help at all. Um, so as I mentioned, I know Jorge Garcia and Michael Giacchino. I asked them first. It was one of the toughest emails I had to send because they're friends, and I don't like being like, "Hey, friends, do you want to be in this thing I'm doing?" But with them, it was one of those things where like they helped us get some more people. Um, a lot of it was reaching out to agents, which is rough.
Oh, so you did have to reach out to them?
Yeah, absolutely. There were sometimes we would get somebody who would send us information. Um, uh, Evangeline Lilly, who was just just a delight. She helped us get another interview, which was great. And it was somebody whose agent said, "Oh, they don't do lost stuff." Um, and then we ended up getting in touch with this person through Evangeline, and then that same agent who said that they don't want to do lost stuff anymore had to reach out and say, okay, they'll do it. Um, I mean, a lot of it is just, I have a IMDb Pro account now, and you just reach out to the agents and you
Oh,
hope to
fancy
get
pants.
something back. Yeah, well, I got it on like Prime Day,
Oh,
where it was like you can get it like cheaper. So like anywhere you can save money and kind of do it on the cheap is good. But I mean, you just start like sort of cold calling people. Evangeline was an interesting one because we reached out to her agents and they were kind of like, no, not really, no, not really. Um, so we found out that Evangeline was going to be at a convention in like Ohio or something, some place I don't know. And Joe Garfien from Cancer Gets Lost was going to that show. And I asked, I'm like, are you going to see Evangeline? And she was like, yeah, but like only for like 20 seconds. It's one of those things where you're shuffled through the line. And I said, can you spend 5 of those 20 seconds just asking if she'd be interested in being in the documentary? And she says, okay, I'll see what I can do. And so Joe went and talked to Evangeline, and Evangeline said, "Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. That's interesting." Right? So that's enough. That's enough for me to then reach back out to the agents, who's like a group of like 5 people. It's like a big ass, like it's so many people in this email, and said, one of my producers talked with Evangeline over the weekend, and she was interested in the documentary. Now, what happens is there's people like this one person who says to their agent, I don't want to do anything about Lost, so if anybody calls about Lost, let them know I'm not interested. So there's that. And basically that's what we're getting from Evangeline's people, but when I say she seems interested, then they're like, "Oh, that's our client. If she seems interested and we don't follow through, that's bad." So that was on a Saturday. I sent that email out, and then on Monday, I had a response with, you know, what are the details for this documentary? Evangeline wants to know when she can do it. And I think I got that email. I was on a live stream doing a French show when that email came in, and you could see my eyes just like go super big. Um, so I finished doing that episode of the podcast, and then I jumped on the phone and I called Taylor, and they said, "Hey, dude." He's like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Evangeline Lilly's in," and he's like, "What?" Because she's like probably one of as far as Lost goes, she's had like the biggest career, one of the biggest careers after the show. Like she started her acting career on Lost, and she's was in The Hobbit, and she's the Wasp. Um, so that was a lot of fun, like meeting her. And then when she came to do her interview, she was absolutely lovely, really sweet person. Did the interview, and then afterwards we're just chatting. we're just like chatting, and she's signing stuff for us to send out to people. I have a signed card from her. And she told me, she's like, it's crazy that you got me. She said, she said that when Peter Jackson made The Hobbit, he had a tougher time than you guys getting a hold of me. And I was just like glowing because I was like, it had gotten to a point where we had already had like Josh Holloway and Terry O'Quinn and Michael Emerson and Jorge Garcia and Michael Giacchino and Bobby Moynihan and all these people. That when we got to her, like I felt like, oh, I could just reach out to anybody now. Like I felt like it was like you ever played Katamari Damacy, where like you rolling a ball and you start collecting bigger and bigger and bigger things until the ball is huge. Like that's it was like a snowball effect. It's like I was like really struggling at the beginning, but as we're getting more and more, it was like, oh, this is easy to do, you know. And it's all depending. It all depends. If they're not in the movie, it just means that you know either they just didn't want to do it, or their agents are really stubborn, or that's it. That's it. You know. So if anybody ever asks how come so and so isn't in the movie, the answer is either they didn't want to do it or the agent was stubborn. So
Two more questions.
right.
One, I know you've explained it to me before,
Mhm.
but I still don't get it. What do producers do?
So for me on this movie, Taylor lives in Oregon, and we would do a lot of shoot. The majority of our shoots happen in Los Angeles, and so my job was essentially like, and he's a producer as well. So there were certain people that he was reaching out to. It got to a point where I handed off Evangeline Lilly's. She had a lot of like requests. Wait, hold on. Five o'clock. She had was getting into the nitty gritty as far as like hair and makeup and stuff and like logistics and getting her into Los Angeles and stuff like that. And so that I passed off to Taylor and Emily. Emily is Taylor's wife, also a producer on this, and she would kind of do that stuff. But for the majority, as a producer, like if Taylor reached out to somebody and they were on board, I would get involved and I would make sure that the schedule was good, that everybody, like I would take care of the schedule. So if we had a shoot day where it was like Christopher White, who did the official Lost podcast, and we had Bobby Moynihan and Sean Whalen, who played a character Frogurt, all on the same day. So I was the one who scheduled that and scheduled where we're shooting. So that essentially what it was when Taylor came to LA, I would pick him up. We'd have a game plan already set, and I would basically drive him to the wherever we're shooting, and that the people were there, were coordinated. So like if someone had to last minute cancel a an interview, like is there someone I could fill that spot with so it's not a waste of 2 hours. But it was basically mostly coordinating. It was a getting interviews, setting up a time for the interviews, and locations, and then I would also go and I would help unload the gear and do. I would run sound, and I would listen, and I would do the clapperboard, and I would like. I think as a producer on this, where it was mostly like just a crew of three, including myself, it was mostly like doing that kind of stuff. But it was mostly scheduling. It was cold calling, reaching out to people, reaching out to fans, hunting and tracking down footage, just all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So that way, whenever Taylor needed his camera set up, there was a person to sit there and a place to set it up and a time to do it. Like that was the big stuff, was actually like shifting the schedule around if things change. Yeah, yeah, it was like it was, dude. It was so fun. The first shoot, like we already had like Morgan Evans, who just directed Micro Budget, and he wrote Merry Little Batman, the animated special on Prime. Like that first week was him. Sam Levine was a friend of Taylor's, and he was a fan of Lost, and so that was day one. Bobby Moynihan, Sean Whalen, Jorge and Michael were our first shoot, but they had last minute things and had to cancel. I filled those with like guys from the first time show, my friend Patrick Cotner. Also, it's one of those things where it's just like, here's the schedule for the weekend. We have Taylor will be in town 3 days, and we have 9 interviews, 10 interviews, and so you have all these people who need to be at different spots, and we're running around with the cameras, setting up, doing it, sitting down, doing an hour interview, and then packing up, going to the next one. Um, got pretty good at it. Got pretty good at schedules. Yeah, but yeah. So basically, that's it. It's kind of coordinating.
Okay.
It's coordinating. It's when you work at say Disneyland and you are the foreman of an area, like you have a schedule and you want to like figure out what's the best place to put this person here and when they can take their breaks. And there's just it's scheduling. It's all okay. Here's the days, here's the people, here's the locations, and if we can get them to sort of make it easy on us, where like we're not running to like Woodland Hills and then Pasadena, you know. We had one day where we did 4 shoots all within like a 5 block radius. It was really cool. It was a really good day. It was like one of the easiest days. So yeah, yeah. We did over, I think we did about 80 interviews.
Yikes.
Yeah, yeah. And some of those people are like, very busy, you know. So, and then we did a whole Hawaii trip. There's a great moment from the show in which a character named Desmond does this phone call with a character named Penny. It's a really big moment in the show, and in the movie we're able to get those two on the phone with each other.
Oh, so
Uh,
that
one
happened
in
like in real life, or
sort of one happened in L.A., one happened in Hawaii. Um, when Sonia was in L.A., she called up Ian. He didn't pick up, so she left a message. A year later, we're in Hawaii, and we notified Sonia, Ian's going to call you. Be sure to pick up. And she said, perfect, will do. And so he calls her. She picks up, and the majority of the conversation is you can hear from his side on speakerphone. And then we just cut those, or Taylor just cut those two together, and it looks like both sides of the conversation were filmed at the same time, when in fact they were a year apart. So
it's a movie magic right there.
yeah, yeah. So when she says, "Hello, stranger, it's me," that's her leaving a voice message, and then we cut to him, and he's talking to her live, and she says like, "How are you doing?" or whatever. So it looks like we cut mid sentence to her or whatever. But yeah, that's like crazy. When I first saw that footage cut together, I was like, "Holy crap, this cuts together really well." I was really surprised. Um, but yeah, Hawaii was fun too.
So last question.
All right.
Sorry.
Is it a good one?
No. Well, I stopped myself from wanting to ask it, but I'm going to ask it anyways.
Ask it.
Hey, do you know anyone that would want to be on the YouTube with me?
Probably. I don't know. What are you looking for?
I don't know.
Probably not
Anything? Anyone?
Evangeline. Probably. I don't know. I have no idea. This is the thing I learned. Just ask people. Like, is there anybody that you want on the show?
Oh, there's a couple people that I do want to ask.
Okay.
Scott that I mentioned,
Hmm.
he has
Ask
like
them.
a music career. I'm gonna ask him. My friend, I don't know if you remember my friend Janina, Kelsey's cousin.
I don't think I met.
Uh,
I met Kelsey. I know Kelsey.
I know you've met them before, but like I don't think everyone was sober at the time. But
Okay.
she's just like she's in a punk band now, and they just released an album like 2 days ago. Want to talk to
Reach
her?
out.
Yeah.
Reach out. One of the things I learned while doing it is doing this is like, I mean, I cold called Bad Robot and got to JJ's assistant. Like, you have access to people. Like with social media, it's real easy, and just invite who you want. If they say no, oh well. You have to learn that, like, the thing that sucks is, like, I felt like I was in high school again, and every time I reached out to somebody, it was like asking somebody out. It's
Yeah.
happening again with my photography. Like, I was at a big box store today. Let's say Costco, and I saw a couple, and they were like, they looked like models, and I was like, man, I just want to, like, bust out my card and be like, hey, are you guys models? Do you want to be? And hand them my card. And I was just like, I feel like a teenager who can't ask people out.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard. And I should have just given them my card, because I realized that people, if you just hand them something or just reach out to them, they'll either just, same as high school, just ignore you or just say no, but they might say yes. Again, I did that a couple weeks ago, and that awkward introduction turned out to be a yes, which is happening in a week. So, yeah.
Well, I'm sure if you head back to that Costco again, you might see them
Oh no,
again.
wait. Oh, this is not the one to show. This is one with my number on it. That's fine. People can call me. I don't mind.
Yeah. Well, that's all my questions. Um, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Everybody should go check out Getting Lost, because
Anything else? I mean, besides getting lost, the Lost documentary.
this
Was that the
go
only
here.
Lost documentary?
Yeah, yeah. And since we're coming up on the 20th anniversary, we were afraid that there would be a competing one. But as we were getting more and more people involved, like the higher up the food chain of, like, the stars of the show and stuff, like, we're like, someone would have told us by now that somebody else is doing a Lost documentary. You know, when we have the showrunners of the show and the creators of the show in the documentary, like, you think they would say, oh, somebody else came around.
Yeah.
And no, no one did.
Huh.
But yeah, go to this. I covered my number. Go to that QR code. Follow me at Opelfilm, because um, I really want to make that a living. So, yeah.
All right. Well,
Other than that,
thanks.
that's it. Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, friends, for watching.
Bye. Thanks for the questions.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording now.
All right. Yeah, I don't think you could read my number on it.